Okay, so let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive today on some uh, really strange reports. Kind of alarming, actually.
Yeah, the subject is apex predators, but, well, they're not acting like normal predators.
Not at all. And the source material it's pretty unique. It sounds like intercepted law enforcement calls globally.
Right, intercepted calls. And what's really striking, maybe a bit chilling, is how consistent these are, coming from different places.
So our mission here is to sort of unpack what these calls are telling us about the creatures and why there's this sudden urgent call for specialist hunters.
Exactly. The sources seem to show a situation that's, well, evolving very, very quickly.
Okay, let's start in Texas. Sheriff Daniels. His report wasn't your typical animal sighting call.
No, not at all. What did he say exactly?
He used words like coordinated movement, fast, quiet, tactical in the woods.
Tactical. That word really stands out, doesn't it?
It does. It implies, planning, discipline, not just instinct.
And that connects, doesn't it, to the report from Slovenia.
Mhm.
Captain Lenko, he mentioned the physical threat, sure, teeth like steel, but then he specifically described two wolves
What about them?
moving like soldiers near Maribor. That observation, that specific description of disciplined movement,
Yeah.
according to the source, that's what triggered the authorization to recruit elite hunters there.
So Texas, Slovenia, same pattern. Military-like behavior popping up independently.
Seems like it, which is, remarkable.
And then there's Scotland, Inspector Tolliver. This one might be the most specific.
Okay.
He doesn't just talk about weird behavior. He says there's a formed unit. He actually lists them.
Lists them, like which animals?
Yeah, it's a bizarre mix. A lion, a crocodile, two hyenas. And the bear, they call him Makola. He says Makola leads them.
Wow. Okay, hold on. A lion, a croc, hyenas, and a bear named Makola leading from different environments working together.
That's what the report claims.
The sources are really pushing us to see this as, well, highly organized, intentional maybe. That specific mix, the naming, the leadership role.
Yeah, it goes way beyond a normal pack.
It really does. And Inspector Tolliver's conclusion in the call, what was it?
Stark, he said. This is no longer wildlife. This is warfare.
Warfare, that word again, it shifts the whole perspective, doesn't it? From dangerous animals to something else, an organized opposition.
So given that framing warfare, units, what's the response detailed in these calls?
Well, there's a dispatch call mentioned, and it implies a bigger picture, an urgent international effort being called for
To do what?
to find hunters, specifically armed, trained, willing.
Armed, trained, willing. Okay. That makes sense in context, I suppose.
But then there's this other detail in the same dispatch, almost thrown in,
What's that?
dental care included.
Dental hair. For the hunters. Or?
Well, the source just puts it out there. In the context of this warfare and recruitment drive, what could dental care included possibly imply? It's odd. Maybe care for their own recruits? It's hard to say based just on the source snippet.
Which connects to maybe the strangest part of that dispatch call's framing.
The urgency.
Yet the reason for the urgency, it apparently says, the creatures are recruiting, so must we.
Recruiting. So the sources present it like we're in some kind of arms race or recruitment race against these organized animal units.
It's an unbelievable scenario painted by these calls.
Absolutely. Taking all these reports together, Texas, Slovenia, Scotland, they consistently suggest apex predators showing organization, tactics, forming units, even having named leaders.
A picture so serious, it's forcing this major international response, this call for specialized hunters.
Exactly. That's the situation presented in these intercepts.
So here's something to really chew on, drawn right from the language in these sources.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean if these reports are accurate? When wildlife stops being just wildlife and starts being described using terms like warfare and recruiting.
Yeah. Where does that leave the line between what we understand as the natural world and something else entirely? It's definitely something to think about.